Russian Revolution 1917. With the turn of the 20th century, the world witnessed an era of social, political, and economic upheaval. One of the most significant events of this era was the Russian Revolution, a watershed moment that forever altered the course of history. This video delves into the multifaceted narrative of the Russian Revolution. Background and genesis of Russian unrest. The roots of the Russian Revolution can be traced back to rapid industrialization, urbanization, and social inequality. The rigid autocratic rule of the Romanov dynasty and the vast disparity between the aristocracy and the peasantry laid the foundation for widespread discontent. The spark of international influences. Amid the backdrop of World War I, geopolitical pressures exacerbated the internal turmoil within Russia. The strain of military conflict, combined with the social and economic hardships faced by the populace, amplified the call for change. As the war strained the nation's resources, the people's frustration deepened, serving as a catalyst for revolutionary fervor. Russia's transition from an agrarian to an industrial society brought about immense socio-economic disparities. Urban workers endured harsh conditions in factories, while peasants suffered landlessness and poverty. The economic strains were intensified by the war effort, pushing the Russian economy to the brink of collapse. At the heart of the revolution stood the enigmatic figure of Tsar Nicholas II, whose autocratic rule and detachment from the plight of his people played a pivotal role in fueling the flames of unrest. On the opposing side were a diverse array of revolutionary leaders, Lenin and Leon Trotsky, other socialist intellectuals who championed the cause of the oppressed. Tsar Nicholas II's committed to maintaining the autocratic monarchy. His failure to address the mounting social and economic challenges, coupled with his mismanagement of the war effort, led to widespread disillusionment and public outcry. The Russian population's reaction to the king's policies ranged from growing disillusionment to outright protest. Strikes, protests, and mutinies erupted across the empire, as people demanded improved working conditions, land reforms, and an end to the war. The tragic events of Bloody Sunday in 1905 further galvanized the populace against the monarchy. On that day, a peaceful workers' demonstration took place in St. Petersburg, Russia. Led by Father Georgy Gapon, a priest and workers' advocate, the march aimed to present a petition to Tsar Nicholas II, addressing grievances related to labor conditions, working hours, wages, and political representation. However, as the peaceful demonstrators approached the palace, army troops opened fire on the unarmed crowd, resulting in a massacre. It is believed that hundreds of people were killed or wounded. It ignited widespread anger, outrage, and disillusionment among the populace, leading to a wave of strikes, protests, and uprisings across the empire. The leaders were emerged from the protest, anger, unrest, who harnessed the collective will of the people. Vladimir Lenin, with his radical Bolshevik ideology, provided a blueprint for radical change. Leon Trotsky's organizational genius and eloquence, combined with his military acumen, played a pivotal role in shaping the revolution's direction. The revolution progressed through a series of phases, marked by protests, strikes, and uprisings. The February Revolution of 1917 had already resulted in the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II. Vladimir Lenin returned to Russia from exile in April 1917 and presented his April Theses, which called for an end to the war, transfer of power to the Soviets, workers' councils, and the establishment of a socialist government. In July 1917, spontaneous protests and demonstrations erupted in Petrograd, formerly St. Petersburg, driven by frustrations over the ongoing war and economic hardships. While the Bolsheviks initially supported the protests, they were quickly suppressed by the provisional government, leading to a setback for the Bolshevik cause. In August 1917, General Lavur Kornilov, commander of the Russian army, attempted to stage a coup against the provisional government. In response, the Bolshevik in October 1917 resulted in the establishment of a new government led by the Bolshevik Party. Lenin became the head of the new Soviet government. Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Lenin's negotiations with the Central Powers but ended Russia's involvement in the war. Bolshevik, Red Army, able to suppress anti-Bolshevik, White, forces, as well as foreign interventions. And the country's official name was changed to the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic 1922. The result of Russian Revolution. The Russian Revolution culminated in a seismic shift in governance and society. The establishment of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic marked the downfall of the Romanov dynasty and the rise of communist ideology. Land reforms, workers' rights, and the redistribution of wealth reshaped the fabric of Russian society. Global ramifications and New World Order. The repercussions of the Russian Revolution reverberated far beyond its borders. The establishment of the Soviet Union introduced a new paradigm of socialist governance, sparking ideological debates and geopolitical tensions that defined the 20th century. The Cold War, nuclear arms race, and the division of the world into ideological blocs